everyone, and welcome to Board Game Breakfast. My name is Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
And I'm the podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonacor.
And we have a guest today. Who are you?
I'm Aaron Lum, coming to you from San Francisco.
Oh, that's early.
So what is that really cool-looking thing next to you there?
I've got a Revolve microscope from Discover Echo. This is my day job. I sell microscopes for a living out here.
What? That cannot be an inexpensive microscope.
It is on par with the industry.
But like, this is not a microscope that you buy for a kid in high school. This is an actual.
This is a research level microscope. Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking 10 grand, right?
A little more than that. Yeah. But you can visit our website and actually build one yourself.
Before this episode's over, Bonacor is going to own a microscope. So.
Not one for 10 plus grand.
So in your field of selling microscopes, how did that lead to board gaming? That's just a made-up question. I was trying to be smooth transition. That made no sense, even in my own head. So I'll ask you what your favorite game is.
Well, I've been playing a whole lot of Gloomhaven online, but I think my favorite game has been Kalis for a long time.
Oh, really? Wow. Those are very different games, actually.
This is still a classic. I still think Kalis.
Do you like the new redone version of Kalis?
I have not been seeing people, so I have not gotten to play it yet. It's sitting on my shelf.
Yep. All righty. Well, folks who are watching, we're glad that you're here. A couple things, as always, to mention. Don't forget that we have not too many rooms left on the cruise, so if you want to get one, don't delay on that. Dice Tower West registration's open. That's going to be fantastic. We hope to see you there next year. And we have a contest going on. This contest is from Bezier Games. If you haven't seen Cat in a Box, I think I should probably put it a little higher here. Okay, that's not very good. Let's try that again.
Cats are very agile, Tom. Not like you, apparently.
I got it.
Cat on the floor.
I got it. So anyway, this is for Werewords, though, Deluxe. And you can win a copy of this if you email us at contest@dicetower.com and answer, well, first in the subject line, put the word SEER, S-E-E-R, and then answer this question. What game feature increases replayability the most? So you have to figure that out for Werewords Deluxe Edition. So answer that question and you can win a copy of Werewords. Thank you, Bezier Games. In fact, speaking of Bezier Games, next week I'll probably be taking a look at the new Castles of Mad King Ludwig Deluxe Edition. It is glorious looking, glorious looking. All right, well, it is time. It is September. We are in the last, what is it, quarter of the year already?
Not quite.
Or is that, no, the last third. We're in the last third of the year. Mm-hmm. I know my maths.
Math is and the last half of the year.
Well, we've been there. September's a busy month.
Not true.
Yeah, math is hard.
It's a convention-filled month because we have the retreat, then the World Series of Board Games that moves right into Essen at the beginning of October, and then holidays and holidays and holidays, and it's going to be busy half of the year. But we got a lot of cool things to talk about and a game show coming up. But first, a word from our sponsors. No, our contributors.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Jeff, your tabletop technician, and here we go. It's another episode of Game Night Demo! That's right. This is a segment where I give my first impression of a first-time playthrough, usually at a game night here in the Richmond area. And it could be a new game or something that's been out for a while, but either way, I had to dive into it head first. So let's meet our next contender, because to beat the game, you gotta play the game. This beatdown is pretty fresh in my mind because just the other week, a few buddies invited me to be the fourth player in the game of Pax Pamirs 2nd Edition by Cole Worley. I'd always been a little bit interested in Pax Pamir just based on the delicious looking components that come in this box, but I didn't really know anything else about it other than some mixed reviews I had heard on the Dice Tower podcast. And I gotta tell you, after more than 40 minutes of having rules shoved into my ear holes, I was getting a little bit nervous. Honestly, there's way more to this game that I can cover in 2 minutes, but it's a very unique blend of area control and tableau/engine building with gobs and gobs of take that. Now, listen to me carefully. I know that this game has very, very little in common with the two games I'm about to mention, but it reminded me in many ways of games like Libertalia and Mission Red Planet, only in the sense that everything that you may have planned for your next turn could go out the window in a moment's notice, even with something as simple as a player playing another card to their tableau. For me, I found it very difficult to plan ahead, and it was very rare that the actions I was planning on taking were either still available or even worth taking by the time it got back to my turn. I also found the game oddly abstract for having such a uniquely deep and historical theme. PAX Premier was perhaps one of the most complex and deeply tactical games I've ever played, and I didn't really care that I ended the game with 0 points because I was just glad that it was over. I don't know, maybe I was just out of my weight class here, but this game was a total knockout. I'll be back in a ring soon though for my next match, and until then, cheers.
Hello, this is Oliver, and as a 13-year-old, I haven't played much Tetris. But I have played many games in our collection that have that polyomino or tile aspect. And the game I'm going to be talking about today is actually brand new, and this game is called Planet Unknown. What I like about Planet Unknown is that it has this really cool Lazy Susan. And this is actually where all the polyomino pieces in Planet Unknown live. On your turn, you are spinning the Lazy Susan and picking what tile you want. And also on your turn, your opponents are picking their tiles according to where you pick your tile. And picking at the same time makes the game kind of snappy. But really, you want to be the person who's the commander, so you can pick the tile you want. Another thing I like is that you can move up tracks that give bonuses, points, and things that just generally change the game, which I think is really cool, and it's really fun to just move up the tracks along the way while you're playing. Another thing I like is the shape of the board. It's like a planet, so it's you can have a little challenge while filling up because it has like circle sides and stuff. Obviously it doesn't have sides, but it's just a little bit of challenge while filling your board up. Well, it's time to blast off to the next segment. Oh, one more thing. While I was recording, before I was recording, I noticed that on the Lazy Susan, it has an acronym, and it's Susan. So if you guys know what that means, put it in the comments below. Have a great breakfast. Bye.
All right. Am I back? Tell me I'm back, Tom.
5 more seconds.
Tell me I'm back. Tell me I'm back, Tom.
Okay, you're back.
Am I back now? I'm back, baby. All right, everybody, welcome back to our game show for today. It is the autumn of fantasy, it seems, with 2 new TV shows, one based on Game of Thrones, one based on Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's a disgusting wealth of riches that we have right now when it comes to fantasy, much like a hobbit's unwashed foot. That's disgusting.
That's a pretty bad metaphor, but go ahead.
So today we've got some questions here about Game of Thrones and about Lord of the Rings. You 3 will be competing for some points. Every question you get right will be 1 point. They're all going to be numerical answers. You want to be closest without going over. If you indeed do go over, you know what? I'm gonna give the audience a point. Why not? Okay. So you might all lose. They will represent the elves deep in the woods for our show here today, gathering power in secret behind the scenes. Does that make sense? Does that check out? I'm not sure I know how
Not at all.
the rings works.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
They're like the Uruk-hai.
A little better, possibly.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm making a lot of Lord of the Rings references, but we're starting off with Game of Thrones. And here's the first question for you. That's how I do it. Game of Thrones. How many episodes of Game of Thrones were made over its 8 seasons? How many episodes of Game of Thrones were made over its 8 seasons? You're going to give me the numerical answer. Again, you do not ideally want to go over. Whoever's closest without going over will be the winner. Everybody get an answer?
This is a tricky one. Trixie.
Oh, it's Trixie, Hobbits. Trixie. All right, I have a answer.
All right.
There were 8 seasons?
There were 8 seasons. That was actually just me reminding you of that so you wouldn't say something particularly dumb like 12. Answer's not 12, Steven.
My favorite season is season 8.
Season 8 is the well-known best
the critically
season.
Critically acclaimed.
Season.
Oh, it was so bad.
All right. So, folks, we're starting with, you all have it, right? Aaron, I'm going to start with you. What is your answer, sir?
I'm going to say 88.
88. Very well. Tom, how many?
I almost wrote down 88 myself. I went 94.
Whoa.
84. Mr. Bonacore.
You guys are over. Those seasons were short, especially the last 2. I think they were like half seasons that they called seasons. I'm going with 72.
72. The correct answer is 73 episodes.
Wow.
Come on, the Bonacore, the Reign of Terror.
The Reign of Terror has commenced.
House Targaryen.
Its name is Bonacore, yes. So, Stephen Bonacore, you, sir, have 1 point. The audience has 2 points for the 2 over-the-limit answers.
Oh,
you guys now get to make up some points.
I'm pro people here.
You're pro people. Right.
Just keep guessing really high so to give the people the answer.
So here's a little side question for you so you can try to catch up to the people. I would like each of you, I'm going to give you 30 seconds or so. I want you to write down 3 TV shows that had more than 100 episodes, but duplicates among you 3 will cancel out. Go.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, just 3.
Just 3. You can only do 3.
All right.
You
More
can
than
get up to
100
3
episodes. All right, I got my 3 answers.
Everybody got their 3?
Yep.
Did you actually find
good.
a list of every show?
I also have Google. So
you have Google.
But I do have a list pulled up. And if it's not on here, I'll just Google that one. All right. So again, let's start with Aaron. Aaron, if you say one and it's on one of you guys' lists, let me know. Oh. All right. So what do you got? Friends, Seinfeld, and MASH. Okay. Do either one of you guys have any of those?
No.
All right. Seinfeld for sure. 180 episodes. So that's 1 point for you, Aaron. Friends has a ridiculous amount. Friends has like 236, it says here. So that's a point. And then MASH, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that one up. So MASH episodes.
MASH had a lot.
Yeah, it had 251. So you got all of those. Aaron, you are at 3 points. Very well done. All right, Tom, what do you got?
All right, I wrote Simpsons, Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh, I got Star Trek Next Generation.
Okay, so
really? You couldn't write the original one? Write the one from your age period, man.
So the original one did not have, it only had 70
something.
Episodes. Yeah, 78, I think. Darn.
All right, so Tom, you said Simpsons. Yes, absolutely. What else? The second one is canceled. And what's the last one?
Matlock. I don't know why that came in my head.
I should have did like Deep Space Nine, that would have been
Matlock. Fun. There's 195 episodes of Matlock. So yes.
Yes.
So there you go. And then Steven, what do you got?
Besides Star Trek: The Next Generation, can I change it to Deep Space Nine instead?
No, fool.
No. All right. Happy Days and Cheers. See, old shows, Tom, just for you.
Happy Days. Number of episodes. There are 255.
Sometimes you got to go where everybody knows your name.
And then Cheers, you said, huh?
I did.
273 of those. So yes. So right now the scores stand at an astounding 3 points for Aaron, 2 points for Tom, 3 points for Steven, 2 points for the audience. It's a very tight race, everybody. And we go on to our next question. Very simple question. The question is, when was the first A Song of Ice and Fire novel, which is called A Game of Thrones, published? What year was it published?
What year was the first
novel
in the series published?
That is correct. Yes.
Are
you whispering to yourself, Tom?
I think he is. I do not know the answer to this question, or I'm not even.
I know when the last book was published because I look that up all the time. If I'm ever feeling like I'm not accomplishing anything in my life, I look at George R. R. Martin's current writing schedule.
Yeah, he's awful.
He's also very rich, so.
I don't care how rich he is. He's. Never mind.
All right, here we go, guys. Tom, I'm going to start with you. Give me a year.
It might be 92.
92. Okay.
I think it's later than that, actually.
Mr. Bonacore.
85.
85. Aaron.
I was going to go with 84. But that's a terrible one with 85.
I originally was going to go with 97, but then I second guessed myself. The last one's 11 years ago, by the way.
Oh, the correct answer is 1996.
There you go, Tom.
I won.
Tom,
yes!
You did that correctly, Tom. That brings you up to 3 points, and you guys gave none to the audience this time. So we're tied across the board at 3. The audience has
point.
2.
I think the audience should have got a point for Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm going to rewrite your rules here, but I think they should have. No. Try to help the audience. Try to help.
The idea is you guys get those questions to try to catch up.
Oh, that's our catch up. All right.
That's your catch up. All right. In fact, you don't get one after every question. You do not have one after this question.
What?
All right. Next up.
This game's ruined.
Terrible game. Terrible.
You'll only have it 3 times, though you'll have 6 questions. Next question, and the final question about Game of Thrones. A Game of Thrones, the board game, 2nd edition, came out in 2011 and is the highest ranked Game of Thrones game on Board Game Geek. How many expansions does it have?
For the 2nd edition.
Yes. A Game of Thrones, the board game, 2nd edition, came out in 2011. It is the highest ranked Game of Thrones game on Board Game Geek. How many expansions does it have?
Released expansions.
Yes.
All right. There's a reason for saying it that way. I think.
Yes. Uncle Charlie's hand-brewed mixing of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
No, because I think there might be one coming out soon. Another one, maybe. No, I could be wrong on that. There was something.
I don't think so, man. Okay. They all look old to me.
All right.
All right, we good?
Yes.
Let's start with you, Mr. Know-It-All Bonacore. What do you got?
I own the original. I don't know. I think I own the original, not the 2nd edition, but I don't even remember what the differences were. I put 2 expansions. 2. This is going to be a low number, no matter what.
Aaron, what do you think?
I thought it was only 1.
Might be.
Expansion.
Might be.
Tom, what have you got?
I don't think there's any expansions. I know there was expansions for the first edition, but I thought they included them in the second edition. So I'll say 0.
It's a good guess. Good guess also.
Okay, your logic is quite faulty, Mr. Vassal. This is Fantasy Flight Games, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You made a huge mistake. The correct answer is 3. There are 3 expansions.
Pick 3, my lord.
One medium-sized one, 2 sort of small ones. So, unfortunately, Mr. Stephen Bonacore claims another Ring of Power, brings him up to 4.
Speaking of Rings of Power, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Now, here's what I want you to do. We are at 4 for Steven, 3 and 3 for Tom and Aaron. Audience still at 2. You guys have another chance to get some points. This is very similar to the first question. I want you each to write down 3 other games based on novels, and it cannot be anything Game of Thrones, anything Lord of the Rings.
3 games based on novels.
Based on novels. 3 of them. Once again, duplicates will cancel out. Go.
Oh, boy.
See you looking around, Aaron, at your games. I'm going to allow
it. I want to go to my game collection now. Of course.
3 games.
And duplicates are going to cancel out. That's going to suck.
Duplicates with somebody else, crossovers will cancel out. Just like they did in that one episode of Game of Thrones. They were playing that game. Remember Pirates Dice?
Yes. That was the moment I knew board games had gone mainstream.
Yeah, man. When you have some filthy fish people playing Pirates Dice in Pirates of the Caribbean, that's when you know. That's a big deal. Do we have 3? Does everybody have 3?
I got 3.
I don't have 3 yet. Give me one more second.
You're still looking at the comments.
He's looking at the comments.
Oh, I'm scanning my library and not coming up with a 3rd one. Crap. I don't even know if this one's going to be right, come to think of it. Now that
so he's down to 1 now. He's back down to 1. All right, you're out of time. We're moving on. All right, Aaron, let's start with you once again, please. What have you got?
I've got The Reckoners.
Wow.
Harry Potter's Hogwarts Battle.
There you go.
And Funkovers.
Okay, I also wrote The Reckoners.
Okay, so those 2 across as Croft have canceled out. Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, sure, that's absolutely going to count. Funkoverse, I don't think it's based on a novel, is it?
Some of the characters in there are based on novels.
Wait, which ones?
Well, the Harry Potter ones for sure.
Now they're
You know what? I gotta give it to Tom. Let's go to the judges real quick. Judges.
Boo!
Aaron, you've got
I disagree with the judges.
Graphic novels, then Batman and Avengers and all of that.
This is
I refrained from graphic novels because I was worried that Z would disqualify that.
Oh, Harry Potter works though. All right, Tom, what do you got? Reckoners is out. What else did you write?
I got Pillars of the Earth and Dune Imperium.
Oh, no.
Pillars of the Earth and Dune Imperium. Okay, so Pillars of the Earth is out because Bonacore wrote it. And then Dune Imperium will get you...
I would have put one of the other novels, the sequels, but I couldn't remember what they're called because who cares?
Me either.
World Without End, I think?
That's right.
Something like that. All right, so Tom, that brings you up by 1 then, and you're at 4 points now. And then Steven, what do you got?
The only thing left that I have is Battlestar Galactica.
That's not a novel.
It probably was a novel, but I guess it was...
No.
Hey, if you're not counting mine, we're not counting that one.
Well, we are counting yours. That's why we should count mine.
No, come on. Funko versus Harry Potter in it. That's a fair and solid argument. Anybody can see that. You don't need a microscope to see that.
Guarantee that there are Battlestar Galactica novels. However,
no, they're novelizations of the show. That does not count.
I'd say it should count, but no. Okay, fine. 0 points. Oh, I needed a handicap. That's all right.
I should take a point away for that answer.
My handicap is my brain.
All right, so right now we've got Aaron leading with 5 points, and you two are tied at 4. We're moving on. The next question here is a Lord of the Rings films question. The amazing, wonderful, glorious trilogy that is the Lord of the Rings. And my question for you is simply this. How long is the theatrical trilogy in minutes? The theatrical cut of all 3 films, the trilogy. How long are those in minutes?
My calculator up because I'm going to do it like that. All right, so it's into one. All right. Okay.
I'm curious carry the one.
I'm curious how long the extended at-home releases are.
It's longer.
Much lengthier.
Much longer.
All right.
I'm going to make my kids watch all the extended Hobbits and then all the extended Lord of the Rings to prepare themselves for tonight's movie. We need to start watching, yesterday.
To prepare for the TV show tonight. Yeah, you had to start prepping last week. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to these answers in minutes. How long is the theatrical trilogy? Aaron, what do you got?
I got 470.
470 minutes.
Not a bad guess.
Tom.
I said 580.
Oh, no.
580 minutes. Bonacore.
455 minutes.
455 minutes. The correct answer, Tom, you went over.
Oh, Aaron's going to get it.
So the correct answer is 557 minutes.
Wow. The theatrical
I knew each one was about 3 hours long, so that's 540, and then I just added 40 more minutes. Should have went lower.
I went with 2.5, knowing that it was not three hours per movie, but maybe it is. No, it's not quite.
No, I know that Return of the King is over 3 hours because, like I said before, I was at the midnight showing, and the film burned right as they were putting the ring into the Mount Doom, and I had to wait another half an hour, and I was there till like 4:30.
Wow.
In the morning.
Did you get your money refunded?
I got a free ticket, so I could go back to see it again.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, Z, what was the actual number?
557 minutes.
So that means every one of them theatrically is over 3 hours. Well, on average. Because
on average, yes.
180 times 3 is 540. Wow. I thought that they were closer to like 2 3/4 on average, but so that's why I went a little lower than that. Whoa.
All right, so that's a point for Aaron and a point for the audience from Tom. Brings the audience up to 3. Aaron now has 6, 2-point lead. We are moving on to our next question. That trilogy is quite a lauded, award-winning trilogy. And what I want to know is how many Academy Awards, i.e. Oscars, did the trilogy win?
Oh, whoa.
How many Academy Awards did the trilogy bring in? Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start with you, Tom. What do you got?
Man, if he had said nominated, I would have written a bigger number. I don't remember how many it won, and most of them were won by Return of the King. I know that. I'm going to go with 12.
12.
Legit.
I think that's too high.
All right. Bonacore, what do you got?
I went with 9. and even that could be too high. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I can hear
No
you guys
sound.
too. But...
It's better now.
Got a fly in the system. Loopy's putting all kinds of great stats in here.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Don't look at the stats.
All good now?
Do not look at stats.
No. Not I completely
Oh, what
glossed
was the answer, by the way, Z? I'm sorry, I got caught up in the sound
The
thing.
answer is 17. It won 17 Academy Awards. So Aaron is very close with his guess of 16. It was the whole thing, the whole trilogy was nominated for 30. So they won about half.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All right, so here's a bonus question for you all. There have been 3 movies that have tied for having won the most Oscars ever. That number is 11. I want you to name the movies. As many as you can come up with of those 3.
11 for one movie, obviously one
Yes.
year. Okay.
That's only happened 3 times.
We have to come up
that
with
a
these
movie.
3 movies?
These 3 movies, I'm going to give you about 45 seconds to see if you can come up with these 3 movies. They've each won 11 Oscars, and that's the most any movie has won. 3 of them have done it.
The Hobbit.
Shh.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Shut up. Shut up.
A Simpsons movie. All right, you're coming up on your time.
Got it.
Oh, my word. I
At
have
least I got 3.
no idea.
Okay. I got 3 decent guesses.
Done. All right. Let's start with you, Bonacore. What do you got? What are your decent guesses?
All right, I think we'll go with Saving Private Ryan. How's that?
Okay.
You're going to tell me if it's good or not?
No, not yet. Go ahead.
I'll go with
Private Ryan.
the classic, or at least, it was lauded over. Citizen Kane.
I had that too.
He has that also. And the other one, Gone with the Wind.
I had that too.
I have to Gone with the Wind.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Okay, what else did we...
Listens to our show, does he?
What's wrong? We can't say that
Anyhow.
word? I'm sorry.
Tom, what do you got?
It says it in the movie.
I wrote Gone with the Wind. Yeah, we can start doing...
Never mind.
Anyway. Saving Private Ryan, I also wrote, and then I wrote Titanic.
Okay.
And I wrote Titanic.
All right, so those of you who wrote down Titanic, that's one of them.
Yeah, that's the only one I knew.
So Titanic is correct. The old one, you guys are trying to get a Gone with the Wind or a this or a that. The old one is Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur had 11.
Oh.
And then the third one is Return of the King.
Wow.
Had
Man,
11.
I thought it was
Maybe.
10.
Question.
I almost wrote that, but I thought you just said 10. So
No, I did not say 10. I think Aaron said, I think
I
they
said
won
10.
10. Yeah.
and I believed you,
Titanic.
Aaron.
So, Tom, you've got a point that brings you up to 5, and Aaron gets one for Titanic that brings you up to 8. Our final question for today is a board game question about Knizia's Lord of the Rings board game, one of the earliest cooperative games that was designed not for kids. It was published in the year 2000, and it is a really interesting game. My question to you is, Knizia's Lord of the Rings game, what is its current ranking? What's it ranked on Board Game Geek as of this morning?
Wow.
Again, you want to be closest without going over. This was bringing those co-op games out long before pandemic sort of set the scene on fire. Doesn't get enough credit for that.
Yeah, this started the entire genre.
Z, how is highest work here?
Yeah. The lowest number is going to be the highest guess, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you go,
if the number was 100 and you took 99, then you went over.
Yeah, you've delved too deeply. You woke something. Okay.
All right.
It's a Balrog.
Oh, this is hard.
All right, Tom, what do you got?
I wrote 1,210.
I love
Legit
it.
guess.
Steven, what do you got?
1,700.
And Aaron, how about you?
I went with 1,111.
What?
Wow.
Tom, you got.
I like the eclipse there.
The correct answer is 987.
Got. Aaron for the win.
There we go. No one gave a point to the audience on that one. So the scores at the end of our game are as follows. Audience at the bottom with 3 points. You guys were able to keep them at bay. Steven has 4 points. Tom has 5. And Aaron has a commanding 9 victory points after this game.
Nice, Aaron.
That is, that's why you got to get into the microscope business, folks. You want to win trivia games? Get a microscope. There you go. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Aaron, for coming on the show.
Guys.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And now, another word from our contributors.
Hi, my name's Jana, and I like to look at games from an environmentalist perspective. So today we're going to look at Cora Quest. Cora Quest is a kids game. It's a dungeon crawl, story-driven, cooperative game. My kids and I really liked it, and it got high marks on my channel for its creativity, for its adventure, and the excitement that it brings. We really have been enjoying it. For its eco-friendliness, it got 3 stars. The first one is because all of the chipboard in this game was FFC certified. FFC stands for Forest Stewardship Council, and it's the group that helps guard against harmful logging practices like deforestation and polluting creeks and streams. It's really important for paper products like board games and books to come from responsibly sourced forest. The second star is because there's no plastic box insert. Plastic box inserts tend to bloat up the size of the game, and they are not a recyclable plastic. The third star is that Dan and Cora designed this game to be a smaller size. Reducing the overall size of a board game reduces the carbon footprint of the game as a whole. And this is actually one of the best design choices you can make if you're trying to make your game more sustainable. Normally, I would give a star to a game that didn't have any plastic in it. Cora Quest has a little bit of plastic in it, but it's very minimal. And I could see how tempting it would have been to put miniatures in this game. But they didn't go that direction. They have plastic standees with cardboard figures. They reduced the plastic, and it was a conscious decision. So I also want to applaud them for that effort as well. Thank you so much for watching this environmental review of Cora Quest. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.
Hello, Proti here, your remaining content creator, and today I will continue my series where I will talk about a specific part of a game, and today we will talk about Bloodborne the card game. In Bloodborne the card game, you are hunters, and you are fighting against monsters, and you want to be the one that is dealing the most damage, and if possible, even being the one that is giving the final blow to the monster, because if you're giving the final blow, you will get some artifacts or some parts of the monsters, and you can move a token track, which is giving you points at the end of the game, and you want to deal as much damage as possible because those blood tokens or the damage that you deal will be points at the end of the game. It is a deck builder because somehow small you have a starting deck. You are playing those cards from your hand simultaneously and flipping them together, and this will say what actions, what attacks the different players are doing, and then you can buy different cards or take different more powerful cards. You can go in Hunter's Dream to heal, get upgrades, and so on and so forth. But what's interesting is there is a clear phase of usually monsters attack first, and then you attack in the player order the different monsters and take or deal damage to those monsters. What is actually interesting is, for example, one starting card is this Hunter's Pistol, which is giving you the possibility or has an immediate effect or a fast effect, which is taking effect before the monster attacks, which is quite interesting because you are maybe able to deal like it is a small monster and you are the last one in turn, and the chances that you can deal any damage to that monster is quite low, so you get 1 damage so that you get some points. What is actually interesting is maybe if you are playing against elite monster which are not running away, you are having the first hit, because the other players will attack if they didn't play this type of a card after the monster attacks, but you are attacking it before, which can kill it and give you all the points or the tokens that you get, or the movement of the track of the specific kill that you made. So it's quite interesting. What's interesting too is because it's powerful, if another player is playing the same card, they are cancelling out each other, so nobody's dealing that fast effect. So quite interesting, and this is what I wanted to discuss about this starting card, this Hunter's Pistol, which is giving you a lot of strategy of thinking when do I play it or not. This is what I wanted to talk about Bloodborne the card game. Have a nice breakfast.
All right, folks. Last week we didn't have a lot of news, but there's a lot of game announcements being made. We are on our way to coming up to the Spiel Essen, which is only a month away. So a lot of different announcements. But we want to start it out by a small announcement that involves us. Every month, Board Game Geek has an update on promos and accessories and upgrades and things like that. And our stuff from last year, our 2021 Kickstarter, many of those promos are available there. So if you want to get some of those, check out the Board Game Geek store.
Very cool.
But speaking of Board Game Geek, the Geek Market, which they closed about a month ago or so, they reopened it. So they're changing it. So if you... which is good for me anyway, because if I was looking for a used copy of a game, or sometimes even a new copy, this was, for me, the fastest and most convenient way to find one. So everything is the same. BGG's taking 3% of the price, but it has more. You are dealing with the person directly. There was something that the reason they changed it, I think, was taxes and something along the line of, it was being sold through BGG. Now I think BGG is just facilitating me selling it to you, like a Craigslist type thing.
Oh, okay. I was looking at like the list of how it works. It seemed exactly the same, but so for a business reason, so that they're not liable, sort of like a eBay transactions, things like that. They're a facilitator, not the store. Interesting. Okay, I get it.
No, see, the way it was before is, if you would go on Board Game Geek, search a game, I would say, oh, I would like to buy Lord of the Rings. And then I would just go and press buy. I would look at all the listings, I press buy, and then they would communicate with me, here's how you pay me, and so on. Now you communicate with them, and I think you pay after that. And then they are charged 3% of the listing price. I guess they get I don't know how that works, but either way, I'm glad it's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have a game coming from DLP, who's probably best known for Orleans, called Rise. This is kind of an unusual cover here. Like if you glance at it, it looks like ghosts.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's another industrial age type game, and I've looked at the game board and went over the rules a little bit. It looks really fun, like using different cards, and there's tracks. I'm pretty pumped about it. It's very somewhat colorful game. This cover, I think they're trying to get the people who went and bought what's that game from Arcade Wonders?
Furnace. Yeah, I was looking at this and saying this has a very Furnace-esque look to it, but obviously it is a different game, much different game.
Yeah, I'm not loving that cover, I have to say. I have not looked any deeper.
This is definitely one of my more anticipated games, I think, at this point, coming at the Spiel.
Wow.
Well, here's a cover I don't like. A new Lord of the Rings cooperative game. We just talked about that from Michael Reineck and coming from Cosmos. So this is they're the same company who did the original Lord of the Rings cooperative game. Here, though, for some reason, I hate this cover. It makes Lord of the Rings look like generic fantasy. And yes, when I said that yesterday, Chris was like, Lord of the Rings, established generic fantasy. I get it. But when I look at this, I don't think Lord of the Rings. I just think, ugh.
Well, yeah, I don't think this cover does much for the IP, which is obviously the greatest, my favorite IP of all. But as far as this game is concerned, Lord of the Rings, from Cosmos, designer cred, this is like an insta-buy for me. So I'm
no. Yeah, sure. I'm not going to let that stop me. Michael Reineck is a good designer.
Yeah. So I'm like, I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be one of my first stops at Essen if they have it there.
Yeah, the question is will it be in English? Will this have English rules? Is the question.
That actually is a good question because so but Cosmos now has an American arm to it. So
that's true, and they just released Cosmos. They just released the Lord of the Rings Exit game, and that did come out in America, so it's not a licensing issue.
Right. I just played that, and it was good, very good.
Was it Lord of the Ringsy?
It is.
Did it feel pasted on?
No, the Exit games they're always a little pasted on. I think no matter what you're doing.
Were you stuck in Mount Doom?
I was stuck, and we scored 3 points out of a possible 10. So I didn't carry the team. Let's put it that way. I thought it was good. I thought it was very good, and I can't wait for this one.
All right, Marvel Villainous has Venom expansion coming out for it. I don't know if this is a single character. They've never done a single character. They've always done their stuff in groups of 3. So I don't know what that means. Maybe it's Venom, Carnage, and I don't know, Sonic. I don't know.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, is it Sonic or Scream? I forget the Carnage's girlfriend.
Sonic, okay? You just confirmed Sonic is coming to Marvel Villainous.
And then we'll go get a hot dog there.
And Knuckles after that. This is cool looking. I like the sculpt. Their little busts that you use in the game always look awesome.
All right. Moving on to Halloween Party. This is coming from Trick or Treat Studios, who's taking over the horror-themed gaming of, because they're publishing a lot of them. This one's designed by Bruno Feduti. And your people are coming to your party. You have to decide if you want them to come to your party or will they kill the mood. You have to offer them to your opponents, which really sounds like one of those old blue box games.
Yeah, actually, there was an old blue box with a Halloween theme, and I wonder, now I have to go look, I wonder if this is that reprinted. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not familiar with this one at all.
It was called Halloween Party, man. Really? The original. But that's a different designer, though. So that's
that was Christopher Bollinger who designed that one.
Yeah. Okay, so Halloween Party, though, is the same as Knock Knock.
I played that actually.
Knock Knock is this is that. So Knock Knock is from these two designers. It came out from Jolly Roger Games. Remember, they had those really pretty pencil drawings, and it's the same thing. You offer someone a character, and they can accept it or not accept it. I think you have to take it back and put it in front of you if they do not accept. If they don't take it. That's what this is.
I gave it a 6. I said my final thoughts were it's a simple little bluffing game that's mediocre for adults but fairly fun for children.
It is currently ranked 20,699 on Board Game Geek.
Not the most prized game, apparently.
Oh, they might have changed it. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, and it's it really fits the theme of what they're doing very well. That's for sure.
The next game for Trick or Treat looks even more interesting. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is coming from Scott Rogers. Now, they're calling it a semi-co-op game, which makes me think you're all running from Leatherface is his name, I think?
Yeah, baby, Leatherface.
You're running from Leatherface, and I guess if he gets... I don't care if we all get out, as long as I get out.
Yeah, I like those games. I don't have to run fastest. I got to run faster than you.
So once he catches you, he takes you to the killing room, and then you have 3 turns to escape before he eliminates the player. And the box has an interior surface that has a nubbly feeling to feel unsettling on your skin.
Of course, you need that.
What?
So is this a one versus many, or is the gameplay?
I don't think so. I think you're all running from him.
Semi-co. Okay, you're all running from him. So, but everybody could lose. So, well, why would? Yeah, you don't. You might have to help somebody to like.
That sounds interesting. I don't like this theme. I don't like that theme necessarily, but that sounds like an interesting game.
Yeah, this is actually a movie I was never interested in, the whole concept of it. I don't like the torture type movies, but
I'm not interested in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the movie, but I'm interested in a game that will do what this sounds like.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I like this theme in a game more because the game doesn't scare me.
Yeah, no, it's not. This doesn't even come close to scaring. Though I don't think I really want to be in his room in the bottom of the basement getting hacked up. That would be pretty.
It doesn't sound good, does it, Bonix?
Okay, moving on. Okay, so then Trick or Treat Studios is also, though, making some non-horror games. They're starting a classic line of games. And this is going to have previous titles. It looks like mostly Tasty Minstrel games. So we have Gold West, Scoville, Luna, and At the Gates of Loyang, all very highly rated games. None of them were like huge hits, but all games that people talk about and like.
Yeah, that's an interesting new direction for Trick or Treat. Like, I mean, I really, like I just said, I think that Halloween party game, I don't know if it's going to be good or not, this new printing, but it really fits what they're doing. This obviously does not. They're starting a new thing, and I guess if they get all these games back into publication and there's folks out there who want them, I have to applaud that. I do find it a little weird that anytime a company comes out that tries to do something very specific, they have a hard time staying on that horse and just doing that thing. There's a few that have done it, but it seems to be difficult.
You mean like if they said they're going to do reprints of older games but then stop?
Yes.
Sort of like that? Got it.
That seems very pointed, but yes.
I think that was a knock, but that's not what I did, Tom. So that's fine. Good. Well, you can continue.
Daybreak is a new game coming from Matt Leacock and CMYK. So this is getting some buzz. Really cool cover. Getting
Great
some buzz
cover.
because well, Matt Leacock's involved. That's pretty much it. You are trying to stop and make the world a better place to live in. It's going to be coming to Backer Kit on September 20th.
Look at that.
Very pretty.
I'm excited.
Then we have, let's see, Fuse Countdown. So this is a new game for Fuse. Fuse from King Klenko and Renegade. This is another one here. What is the difference here? Is it expansions? What? Hang on. It's a standalone or an expansion. Got it. That's why I'm confused.
Oh, okay. That's nice to see Fuse get some more attention. It's a game I think is all right. I don't like this kind of game generally, but I think Fuse does what it does really well. It's nice to see it get more content, because the one thing I could say for Fuse is if you play it a lot, you'll see all of the cards every time, the different things you can do with stacking dice, with rolling dice. You'll see everything in there pretty quickly, and I guess getting stale. So this is a nice move. I'm surprised to see it get an expansion standalone thing, and it's a really cool cover. It seems very inspired by The Crew, doesn't it? Like there's a Crew vibe to that cover.
Yeah, that's actually
maybe
a very good point.
All right. Well, in not great covers zone here, we have a new game from Friedman Freeze called Fancy Feathers. And what on earth is this cover?
I literally saw this and I was like, I'm going to have a nightmare from this cover. Why does it look, Tom? Make it stop looking at me, Tom.
It's a 2-player game where you're moving along a line of cards. You can move as far as you want. And if at the start of your turn you're alone on the card, you collect it and any cards behind it. And then you're collecting sets of birds. The game sounds fun. Friedman Freeze is a good designer of games.
2-player game.
But, whew. Sorry, everybody. But let's go to another Friedman Freeze game. Sorry, what?
No, it's interesting. It's a 2-player only game. I don't know in my head that I remember him doing another 2-player game. Interesting. But yeah.
Let's go to a slightly better looking cover.
Okay.
That is slightly better.
Findorif.
Findor.
Well, it's not as horrific as the last one.
I don't know. That guy has a dark secret.
You're moving a guy along a track again. That gives you workers, and I think you're placing workers, and I don't know. They're both releasing at Essen. We'll tell you more about them after we see them. This almost looks like a lookout game.
Yeah.
Also, he has this is in the news because Mike found it amusing, but there's some bonuses of pheasant farts.
Pheasant fart. The set of pheasant farts consists of 3 cards. For each pheasant fart, lose 1 stated. I guess this is part of the first game, the Fancy Feathers.
It's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's his promo.
You know what? I typed in pheasant fart in Google. I'm regretting that a bit.
Safe search on.
Well, that's a. Yeah, I can't figure out what game this is for.
It's like an explosion, like.
Moving on. Let's talk about something that everyone's excited about.
I love freedom.
A new expansion for Ark Nova, the first expansion. In fact, look at the title. First expansion, which means there'll be more than one. No,
is it really cool? No, it's called Aquarium,
it's
right?
A placeholder. Yes. This is just a placeholder box cover. Anyway, this is all about sea animals. And you're going to be able to add water stuff to your zoo, and which will need special enclosures. And also there's a way to go through the deck faster, which everybody knew was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So there's also alternate versions of the 5 action cards. That sounds amazing. Amazing. I'm very excited about this. It's coming out sometime in 2023.
All right.
A lot of expansions in the news today. We have an expansion for Origins. I didn't know the game was popular enough to get that, but hey, it's a pretty solid game from Board and Dice. I like it. It's going to have 2 modules. That's mostly how Board and Dice does their expansions, with multiple modules in them. So it's coming out October. Twilight Struggle card game. So this is called Twilight Struggle Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa. This is supposed to be delivered in late 2022. I got to say, I'm pretty pumped about this, but cautious because the game Twilight Struggle is so amazing. It's the same game designer, but taking an amazing board game, making it a card game is it's like, I think, what do you get, Z? I think a 50-50 chance of it being good?
I would put it slightly higher than that, but I understand there's that trepidation of, well, you're messing with something that's already solid. Is it going to benefit you to call it that, or is it going to hurt you to call it that? Whatever the game ends up being, right? There's that sort of psychological aspect of it.
I like the fact that it's a half hour to an hour and 15 game. That to me sounds like it's
per player, and it's a 6-player minimum, though.
It's a 2-player game. All right.
No, the whole playtime is a half hour to an hour 15. That's not so bad.
I was kidding.
It isn't.
Okay, sorry.
This next piece of news really tickles me here. So, Cash and Guns is a game that I find to be very fun, but some people are uncomfortable because you're pointing foam guns at each other. So, rather than face that, they've rethemed it as Stupefy, and I'm just looking forward to seeing this game be played at conventions, because you're going to be pointing wands at each other, and then, is your wand, if you played a Stupefy, you hit your target, knock down their flag, unless they ignored their card and declared Protego. So they pronounce it. I don't know. It's coming out in September. Yep. That's now.
So is it the same game?
It looks like it's pretty close. It's a reworking, so I'm sure they've changed things.
I like that. I like that, Tom. Whenever I point my wand at you, you don't know if my wand is loaded.
I am so putting this in the Dice Tower library. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. It's coming from Repos Games. And I wonder if it's being released worldwide, because of the Harry Potter license or not, but I will get a copy of this by hook or crook. It's going to Dice Tower library.
That's great.
All right. The next Eagle Griffin title has been announced because people are already screaming about Weather Machine, and it's not even out. But the next one's called Inventions. It's designed by what? Battlestar. Oh, my word. Ian O'Toole's doing the art?
Oh.
Okay.
So surprising.
There's a very
I think
cool
it's a light
cover,
bulb.
though.
Is that a light bulb or a hot air balloon?
That would be a light bulb.
I think the idea is it's supposed to look like a bunch of things.
It's a light bulb with
and a hot air balloon, and there are other designs within it. That's a gorgeous cover. I really like that
piece
style.
of art. That's a piece of art.
All right, Z will be reviewing
Zero information on this game except for that. So
I will be reviewing this game's art.
Well, speaking of art, Dominion has announced its 15th expansion with Pirates Plunder. It's going to have a lot of cards in it. I'm trying to get through this before we talk about the cover. It's going to have a lot of cards in it, and a lot of treasures. There's 500 cards, and there's 40 new Kingdom cards, treasure cards, duration cards, traits that modify piles and events. I'm very much looking forward to it. But what happened to these guys' eyes?
This cover is a very interesting cover. They all look terrifying. They have no pupils.
Maybe they are blind, Z? Maybe it's like a bunch of blind pirates fighting over treasure?
Well, no, they just have odd
I don't
eyes.
know. This is so strange. It's fine. It's just a little creepy. It's Dominion. You're not going to get some wonderful graphic design or artwork in Dominion. It's just sort of, unfortunately, it's kind of par for the course now, and it's almost now a point of pride with the way these games look. They've had a chance to do a second edition. In fact, they did, and could have done something like Pandemic did when it became clearly too big, and they were like, we need to make sure this now looks like it's not just for hobbyists. This is now for everyone. Clean up the look. Go for a new style, something that will appeal to the masses. these people do not appeal, I would say, to the masses.
But there's gold. I am very excited about the expansion, though. I love Dominion, so looking forward to more cards for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so big news of the week here is Ravensburger has announced Lorcana, a trading card games, and it's Disney themed. So this is pretty interesting. It's coming out in 2023. Ravensburger already has the Disney license. They've done Disney Villainous, but this is a trading card game, a collectible card game, and just same words for different words for the same thing. But it's the first Ravensburger has done in this regard, and I think a trading Disney game is going to sell at least a little bit here.
It sounds like they're putting a lot behind this. From what I've read, from what I've seen, this is not something, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, obviously, the inner workings of any of this, but it does not seem this is them tossing out some lure and seeing if they catch anything. It looks like they've put a lot of time and development and money behind this. I was reading that this will have the most original Disney artwork of any product that Disney has put out ever. That sounds expensive, and it sounds like a big investment. So I'm personally pretty excited for this. This could be great, I mean, it might be a little light for me. They are trying to, and this might be the trap, is they're trying to appeal to everyone. Kids, this is your trading card game. Older people who are nostalgic for Disney, this is your trading card game. Magic the Gathering pros, we will take you to. That might be the trap here.
Yeah. So to add to what you're saying, Z, there was two like takes on this one. I saw it. There was like the ICV2 was just very like bland. It was like Ravensburger's coming out with a new game based on Disney. But then you looked into different sources, which what I think you got to, and it's quoted in here, that there was it really looks like they brought together people who have got Magic the Gathering experience to do this game, that Disney is almost involved in the game, just more than just, add our stuff onto it. I mean, they look like they're taking on Magic the Gathering. They realize that market is so tremendous. So you bring together one of the largest companies in the world, Disney. You bring together one of the largest game companies in the world, largest in Germany, as we know, Ravensburger. You bring them together with people who have worked on Magic. This could be big. Maybe, who knows, maybe they end up with the World Championship of Lorcana, at Disney World or things like that. I mean, there's potential
I would do, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's potential for some really serious stuff here when you bring together this kind of...
Yeah, no, I can't hear anything you're saying, Stephen. Can you hear him, Z?
Oh, don't know, but don't let him know. I just nod and smile, Tom.
I hear you. I hear you guys. So I'm not a CCG player, and I haven't been since the 90s, but I'm really excited about this game.
I am.
Well
but
said.
Here's the things. They said they're going to release this next fall, and they're going to have 4 new card releases each year, as well as a robust, organized play program. Great. The only thing is, 99% of trading card games fail. Straight up.
Yes.
It happens all the time. And that's a self-perpetuating thing because it makes people wary of new ones. Now, if the game is a solid game and you don't need to keep pumping new sets into it, that's fine by me. But I don't know. I just worry about that because, I mean, what do we got? Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Digimon, and, maybe 5 other ones, a few overseas and such. But even most games, they come, they're big for a bit, and then they're gone.
If one group of people and one IP could do it, this is the one to take on the top 2 or 3, right? Right, you said Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Those are the only 3 really big ones, I think.
I agree with you that the license can do it, but, I mean, I like Ravensburger, but I don't know if they can do it or not. They've not done this before. I mean, I hope so. I like Ravensburger, but
certainly. But Disney's power behind that possibly can do it. I'm hopefully optimistic. That's all.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in that category. So,
yeah, I think the fear there is, just to say, is that Disney is saying, we're putting so much money into this, we're pumping this up, it's going to be enormous, it's going to be tremendous. Oh, return figures on the first set aren't that hot. Pull it, we're moving on. That's the fear, right? Like many big companies, they're like, we'll cut our losses. Let's what's the next thing? And hopefully that does not happen.
All righty, folks. Well, that is the news for today.
Like, I haven't played it yet. And they're like, you got to play it. It's so good. And then years go by and you finally play it and you're like, guys, this game is so good. And they're like, yeah, that's what we've been saying. And you're like, but do you know how good it is? And they're like, yes, we do know how good it is. We've been telling you this for years. And you're like, guys, I don't think that you know how good this game is. And they're like, if you don't walk away right now, our friendship is over. And then you're like, you know how we can get our friendship back? We can play that game. For me, right now, that game is Imhotep. I haven't played this game for years. It's been on my shelf of shame for literally years, and I finally played it. And guys, it's so good. Some of you might be watching this and going like, why is he talking about a game from 5 years ago? And I'm talking about it because it's so good. I just can't stress that enough. All of my friends are going to be mad at me for making this video because it took me this long to play this game, all right? It falls into that perfect category of like easy to teach, hard to master, right? There's just, like, you could teach this game to somebody in less than 5 minutes, but there's like still a lot of replayability to it because there's just a bunch of different ways to score and a bunch of different strategies to partake in, and yet you can always play this game in like 45 minutes or less. I just love that middle range of games where it's like, oh, there's like real choices, but I can play it with anybody. That is Imhotep.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella here from Maple University. Want some nachos?
Sure.
So this is a Nacho Pal, new-ish game from Pandasaurus. Now, before we get into the game, talk about the game. This is the game that I was considering not to open. I know this sounds crazy, but this is one of those that you cut it and then it's not going to look perfect anymore. So I found a way to actually cut really thinly at the back so that the front at least looks still almost perfect. Like I cut it like too much here, but this is what I did.
Still, it's not a collector's item anymore.
It's not, I know, but surely someone else has got the same thought process as me. Let me know in the comments. So what's the game's about? Push your luck.
Whatever the case, it is a push your luck game with these little plastic nachos. Basically a set collector, good little bit of fun.
Yeah, indeed. So you collect, you push your luck, you don't want to get the same number, otherwise you bust, and then go to the next player. Otherwise you collect it on your pile and wait until your turn again. If it's still there, you get it.
But other players can steal them from you if they draw the same number.
Indeed. So that's basically Nacho Pal. It's a good party game. It plays 2 to 6 players, and it is. You actually every time you have to reach out in the thing. So hopefully this is quite durable as well.
Hopefully it's durable.
Hopefully it's durable. And also we just replace it with another bag.
Yes, a cloth bag.
A cloth bag. That's it. Have you played it? Let us know. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
And that's it, folks. Thanks for watching another Board Game Breakfast. We'll be back next week with another Board Game Breakfast, but also we'll be back later today at 2 o'clock about the top 10 games that should have been an email. What does that mean exactly? Well, we'll explain then. And also, we got all kinds of reviews going up all over the week. Don't forget our contests at the beginning. Don't forget to sign up for the different Dice Tower conventions, which are live now. You can sign up for them. And I hope you're having a great day. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Stephen Bonacore.
All righty. See you all next time.